Hey everyone, it's Stephanie here, and today I have a video to share a card created with the May SSS Stamp Card Kit. For my card, I decided to focus more on the grays that come in the kit. There is a lot of great pinks and golds. There's actually foil gold you can see on the back side of that piece there throughout a lot of the pattern papers in this kit, but I really wanted to kind of go away from the gold and show you that you can use the gray colors and create more of a silver looking card. So to start off my card, I'm going to be using Simon Says Stamp Fog ink, and I'm going to be using the Drawn Hearts background stamp that's been out for quite a while. And I'm just going to go ahead and fully ink this up with the Fog ink. And I'm just making sure to completely cover the background so that when I place my card base on top here, I'm going to get a full covered stamped image on the whole background of my stamp here. So this is a top folding card, so I just positioned it so that the heart pattern will go vertical on the card, and I'm just going ahead and putting a scratch piece of paper on top so that I can firmly rub around on top of that card base to ensure that I get a nice solid stamped image. So you can see there now I have all of those hearts across the whole front, and it's a little splotchy right now, but they will dry back a bit and blend into the background, so that you'll kind of see once I get to the final card that those hearts aren't quite as dark. They fade down quite a bit. So I really love that quality about the Simon Says Stamp inks. So I already had some pre-cut pieces there, so I'm going to be using those on the card. It's just a piece of vellum and one of the pattern papers. But before I get to those and adhering those, I want to do some stamping on my card. So in conjunction with the stamp set that comes with the kit, I've also decided to use the Simon Says Stamp Married stamp set, and mainly because I want to use this wedding cake. I love all of the great sentiments and the patterns in the stamp set that comes with the kit, and I thought it would look really cool with the wedding cake as the focal image on the card. So what I did here is I stamped the wedding cake twice onto one of the patterns from the kit. I used the gray and cream colored stripe, and I positioned my stamping so that on each of the cake layers I would have a piece of the gray stripe at the bottom and then the beigey color at the top, because I'm going to end up cutting those out separately and adhering them onto my stamped cake image that you see here. So I just went ahead and stamped this one here onto Nina Solar White cardstock, and I'm just going ahead and coloring in the cake base with some gray colored Copic markers. I don't want it super covered in color. I just want it kind of a very light grayish color, so I'm just kind of fading out that gray color as I go down onto that card base. And I just kind of wanted to give it a little bit of color so it didn't blend into the background, but not have it compete with the actual cake that's going to be sitting on top. So once I had that colored, I'm just going ahead and using the coordinating die, and I'm just going to run this through my Big Shot. And now I have this great little wedding cake image that will work perfectly as the focal image on my card. But before I adhere it to the actual card base, I need to adhere the rest of the wedding cake pieces to it. So I'm just going to take my scissors and go ahead and cut out the 2 layers of the wedding cake. Like I said, I'm cutting them both out separate so that they have the lines exactly where I wanted them positioned. And then I'm just going to take some liquid adhesive and go ahead and adhere these directly onto this cake piece that I've already cut out. And I like using liquid adhesive for this, mainly because when you put the piece onto the stamped piece, you have a little bit of time to kind of move it around and make sure that it's centered perfectly inside that stamped area. And I just like that for ensuring that everything is lined up properly. So now you can see there I have both of the pieces adhered on, and now I'm going to go ahead and put my sentiment onto the card base. So I'm just using the Mr. and Mrs. from the Congratulations stamp set that came in the kit, and I just centered that under the area where I know I want to put the cake. And then I'm taking the Holiday Shapes dies from Simon Says Stamp, and I picked the 2 largest heart dies from that set, and I went ahead and cut those out of the same gray color that I used for the wedding cake, and then one of the lighter pink pattern papers that was in the kit. And I just kind of put a slit in the top of the wedding cake with my X-Acto knife. I didn't catch that on the camera here, but I did add a little slit there, and then I just kind of tucked the 2 hearts inside of where that opening was. So it kind of looks like they're stuck down into the cake, and I thought it would work perfectly to look like a cake topper. So I went ahead and put the hearts on, and then I added foam adhesive to the entire back of the cake piece, and then I just adhered this onto the card. So now that I have all the main pieces on, I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of detail. So I'm adding some clear Wink of Stella glitter marker to the heart piece on the top, and I'm also adding it to the gray pieces on the wedding cake. Once this fully dried, I went ahead and added more Wink of Stella to those 2 pieces just to give it a lot of sparkle and shine. And then I'm taking the pieces that I had already pre-cut and I'm going to go ahead and adhere those together onto the card base. So I'm just putting the vellum piece onto the gray card base, and then I'm adding the piece on top that has the cake directly into the center of that area. And then I also added, once I finished the card, I decided it was a little bit too plain, so I ended up adding a couple of sequins around the cake area for a little bit more detail. So that completes the card for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.